It's a minute past high noon in beautiful Jamaica on this, the 20th day of September 2023. The year of our Lord, the year of our freedom, the year of our realizing some of the dreams and the aspirations, quite possible within our resources, within all of the graces that we receive as a Jamaican people. And on the public eye, on the Bridge 99 FM, Colonel Charles and myself reach out to people all over the world who have the heart of Jamaicans. And we give you the news and views of our island nation. We invite you to participate and share with us wherever you are. Check us live as we are now. Check us vicariously, virtually, when you can on the various apps that make it possible. The WhatsApp for the Bridge 99 FM is 876-551-5782. And the studio line is 876-676-4996. And you can download the mobile app from the Android Play Store and the Apple Store. It's the Bridge 99 FM. A new kind of station, a new kind of medium in the panoply of radio and television in Jamaica's history and current. It reaches out to those abroad. It recognizes them. It appreciates that they have a role to play, that they're as much Jamaicans as we are. And that because you live outside of the rock doesn't mean that you haven't got a view, that you haven't got a place, that we don't own you, just as you own us. And so share with us for the next 2 hours. As we look at the current affairs of the day, we reflect on them, share contrasting viewpoints maybe, but always undergirded by a love for this nation and the potential of its people. Later on in the program today, Bobby Stevens, well-known consultant, and he is one of the co-founders of the Advocates Network. That's a strong civil society group of recent vintage. They've issued a statement on the events that took place in the Jamaican Parliament yesterday, where there was a confrontation between the Speaker of the House and the opposition over the treatment of an Integrity Commission report regarding the very same Speaker. And so that has raised issues of principle, which Bobby Stevens will discuss with us. You're entitled to phone us. More than entitled. You are welcome. Thanks so much for being with us on the Bridge. This is the Public Eye. So, Mr. Charles, greetings to you, sir.
Greetings. And how are you?
I am.
How are you meeting this heat?
Well, you see, I live in the mountains, and it's a little cooler there than it is on the plains, but it is still oppressively hot, and I feel a sense of disappointment because I know I feel I can do so little about it. I see there's a mad rush in Jamaica towards air conditioning now. I see public servants quite understandably saying they can't function without air conditioning. I see what is
teachers are saying
a really far-fetched proposal that classrooms have to be air conditioned. That is impossible.
Well, it may be impossible, but they might have to go back to where I am coming from.
Yes, sir.
The school is so small.
Yes, sir.
Our classes are held under the guango tree.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Stand up on the blackboard.
Yes, sir.
And the teacher have a chair.
Uh-huh. And wherever that is possible.
And we did very well.
You did very well.
And when rain fall, everybody could go inside and
of course. But
all the class.
Small up.
Yes.
But these are the kinds of things. But this notion.
They don't want to go back to that.
No. But high chest is a very dangerous disease, Mr. Charles. You know what high chest is, sir?
Yes, but...
High chest can kill you, Mr. Charles.
Yes, but high chest sometimes is a reality if you look at it the way we are looking now. Mm. The truth is this, that some children just can't stay in the school. So you have to keep the class outside.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what you should do, but these teachers don't want to do that. Well, they want you to air condition.
Yeah, which is not going to happen. It could never be afforded. That's one thing. Two, but there are many things that we can do.
And those air conditioning units probably wouldn't stay there very long.
Well, there you are. But let's look at some of the possibilities. First of all, I think we're well on the way for parents and schools to provide hydration possibilities for the children. I notice the children in my family and broadly on the street and the schools where I go carry water. In our day, we didn't do that.
Oh, you didn't do that?
No, I didn't do that. You did it.
Well, what happened in our days, we didn't have plastic bottles.
I see.
So we had bottle.
Okay.
So it's not far-fetched.
Like a rated water, a beverage.
Yes, but drop and broke.
Oh, Lord.
Then you run in it,
Yes,
drop
of
out
course.
your pocket.
You're in trouble.
So try and make it all cut your foot.
So more hydration consciously is necessary. 2, as far as the infrastructure of the school is concerned, 2 or 3 generations ago, I know the architect who actually was a mastermind of this in the Ministry of Education. I won't call his name.
Open classrooms.
But what they did, instead of the open classrooms, they put in these concrete louvers, which were supposed to be a antidote to breaking windows and forcible entry, etc.
So they can slide them open?
No, they can't open. This is it. These are concrete louvers. Yes, like a louver, but it's concrete.
So the wind will come through the side.
Well, it's supposed to, but if it's hot air coming in, you can imagine how that accentuates. Yes. Everything that a school can do in order to alleviate that kind of, to allow greater natural ventilation, would be better. And I think we can be intentional about that. The other thing that I noticed is that a number of schools, especially the private schools, have raised money and put in solar energy.
Yes.
Now, where you do that, then you can talk about artificial cooling because you have your energy. Now, that's not the cheapest thing yet, but technology is improving, and solarizing an institution like a school or part of it, laboratories, for example, computer rooms where you have to keep a certain ambient temperature. These are things. Reasonable aspirations, wouldn't you think?
Yes, but I look back and see that we had classrooms, what we used to call open-air classrooms. Yeah. Right? The cover is on.
Yeah, but the sides are
joined too, so there's nothing in the middle, but you know, follow me? But if rain start to fall and blowing, so you're moving. And we were better off.
Well, I see that working. There's some I've seen in modern times.
Yes.
So, and it's much less expensive.
Oh yes.
And some of the alumni groups that we are speaking to and listen to this program, the people abroad who support their schools in Jamaica, I think they can have an influence in saying, look here, if we're contributing, can we do something which is going to be climate friendly?
Yes, and they had more classroom seats.
Yeah.
That were permanently installed, so you couldn't steal them.
Okay, yes.
Right? And 1 or 2 were concrete.
Right.
But they were put down in such a way that...
bolted.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, clean up the
but
chairs.
we have to do... the problem is going to get more acute.
Based on what is...
Based on everything else. Yes.
So this is the hottest year since we have been recording temperature.
You know, one of the good things then... that I saw was in the papers, I think this morning, is that the government is reopening the prospects of alternate energy investments.
Yes.
You and I have commented on this before on the public eye, because I have felt, and Ralston Hammond, who sometimes is our guest, has encouraged us that we need to be far more intentional about renewable energy. Now, this morning I read in the press that the government is out to encourage investors to provide another 100 megawatts of renewable energy, which would be, of course, in our case, solar and wind. Now, that's very good, you know, sir.
Oh, yes.
That makes a whole lot.
Where we are, those things are available.
This is it.
Free of cost.
Yes, and it makes a big difference if we're able to engage that. That's a long-term investment. Providing tax concessions for that is in my view entirely legitimate, and I would have thought that this was the direction that any Minister of Energy would want to encourage Cabinet to provide, so that more and more investments could go in that direction.
Well, I'm not an engineer, But then I could see somebody who is an engineer check to see how the wind blow in Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
Follow me?
Yeah.
Like, let us say, go to the bottom of Spur Tree.
Yeah.
The wind going to bounce on Spur Tree and go somewhere.
Yeah.
So, put down those things now. How you put schools,
Sure.
open your classrooms, you put it
I
for the wind to blow.
I got you. So what you're suggesting is, this is very sensitive. What you're suggesting is that our architecture
That's right.
ought to conform with our climate, and
Of course.
particularly the aggravating heat of the climate.
Well, we have the Blue Mountain.
Yes, sir.
And we know that off the Blue Mountain, something has to come.
Yeah.
Where does it go?
Yeah.
How does it blow?
And how does this affect how you position your building?
Exactly.
What you build?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The position of the building would be not against air, but to absorb it.
Clearly.
Follow me?
Clearly. No, that. So, hello. So we can be really creative within our own means then?
Well,
Within our own means is the critical element of what I've just said, sir.
that's what we bad mind. We bad mind. We don't want to say it because you go and do it before me and say, me know you know it. And this
No, but we have to stop that. And
I hope that
you and I are the bulwark against that. That is
with
nonsense.
It is so stupid.
Uh-huh.
If you look at the politics of Jamaica, no government has gotten enough time, except, well, PJ was there for 18 or 20 years.
18 years.
Right? That was a time where you could do your own thing.
Uh-huh.
The other governments, if you refuse to pick up from where the other one has stopped,
Uh-huh.
and every time you're starting, we're getting nowhere.
Well, that has become a fundamental shared presumption of the both of us here, that the politics which ought to help us to achieve more, unfortunately,
Is setting us
apart. Yes? Take, for example, just to move on a little bit, this statement by Mark Golding this weekend at the PNP conference, that a PNP government would increase the income tax threshold to, what did he say, 3 million?
3 million. Yes.
Okay. And his counterpart, Minister Nigel Clark, says, but you are thieving our idea because we did it in 2016. Now, my immediate reaction, I don't know what yours will be, my immediate reaction is, so what? If it is a good thing, it no matter whether it's your idea or mine, come and do it now.
Well, what did he do in 2016? He moved it from where to where?
He moved it from, I think it was 650,000
Yes.
to 1.5.
1.5?
Yeah.
And this man wants to move it to 3.
3, but there was
Then what? Well, I would say, Ronnie, you want to move it to 3? Can it go to 3?
Yes.
Come, let us sit down and see where we put it.
Praise the Lord. That's exactly it. Because what we need to remember, and I have to remind Mr. Clark, because he wasn't in government in 2016. It was Audley Shaw, who was the Minister of Finance. Yes? Is that the price of moving it to 1.5 was a brute of a tax package. I sat in Parliament, in your Parliament,
Yes.
and listened to Audley come and say we have to phase it in. He used that funny phrase, and he because it was after saying that it could be done without an increase in taxation, it turned out to have a very significant increase in taxation. So I want to make sure now that if we're going to 3 million, yes, I agree with the principle. Indirect taxation is better than direct taxation. Let people know spend their own money. Let us make sure it doesn't involve a tax package that's going to take away more from the very people who needed it most, which was what happened the last time.
Let me tell you, a little man from Radio said to me, Mr. Charles, for 3 straight weeks, petrol has decreased by $6.50.
Good.
And I said, but what is this? This is good. But what has happened for the next 3 weeks? It's going up back.
Going up back and more, because the news this morning is that the price of crude is brushing $100 a barrel. And you know that immediate ripple follow through to the gas station here in Jamaica.
Right. So I don't know. The system still cannot condescend or accept that we can talk like me and you and say, listen, what is the best for the people?
Of course. And therefore, I'm in a business whether it's you or me.
No, but because you're not running for Prime Minister and I am not running for you.
What is the use of... what is it?
What's the use of getting it and you can't do nothing with
You
it?
can't do nothing with it because you always have to be looking over your shoulder. And when the net effect is that you are not, because you don't cooperate, you are not able to do the best for the people. This is a key thing again. There are a couple other things I wanted to engage you on. The issue of the constitutional reform.
Yes.
And the Privy Council.
Yes.
So the PNP says, and I agree, fully agree.
Yes. I disagree.
That you cannot tell King Charles goodbye.
Yes.
And then have to go beg King Charles, please sir, tell me whether the Lord judge right in Kingston or not. You can't do that.
You know what I said a while ago? I disagree.
Yeah.
Listen to my problem.
All right.
I want to throw it at you and ask you to help me solve my problem.
Tell me.
The present constitution calls for a referendum to do what?
To tell King Charles, please, to goodbye.
So you know, say that the constitution that you and I have been talking about not going to come. Because you have to get a percentage of the vote.
Yes, sir.
That's what the constitution says. You think we're going to get that?
No.
Okay.
Hello. Let me change that. We could get it if the two of us sang the same Sankey.
No, but you said you take out the word could.
Would.
We should. We should.
So.
But the system that we are operating and surviving by and climbing for and fighting for is going to prevent in this republic from coming long after you and I gone. If you cannot change the constitution.
So what's the point? So what is the point? So
can you change the constitution?
Of course we can.
Okay.
That is why I hoped that the constitutional reform effort that has now clearly
would have removed the requirement for?
No, would have been of such a composite, united nature that it would have allowed us to come, you and I, to go on the same platform, or I come on your platform. What a wonderful thought that would be. And say, listen, brethren, we both agree to this one. And therefore, we are encouraging the people to come out and vote yes.
Yes, but guess what?
Then when that happens, the kingdom of God will have come, you know.
No, not necessarily. We could still be hoping for him to come. But here is what I'm trying to tell you.
I'd never hear an Adventist say that yet.
No, but the point is this. The point is you have to be a realist.
Yeah, but
because unless you remove...
You know the difference between you and me?
Yes.
You and I are both realists, but I can't say you're content, but you're resigned to deal with the limitations of realism, whereas I want to change it.
Listen, don't believe I don't want to change it. But guess what?
Hear that. I agree with you.
You use the right word. I'm a realist.
Yeah. So,
and I know.
Listen, there is no. I know. When you hear the Constitutional Reform Committee scratch their head this morning and say, "Oh, it's going to be far more difficult now if the PNP won't agree to send King Charles home."
It will never ever happen.
So why not? Why can't the JLP, which agrees that the Caribbean Court is the appropriate final court, why they can't change their position now?
What position should they change?
The position should let us go ahead with a united move to do two things: to remove the king and to also accept the original jurisdiction of the court.
No, I think that's where it is.
No, but I don't want to say so.
Hold on, I think that is where it is. But guess what?
Guess what?
We have run referendums already. But we have run elections where half the people done business with it. And I am telling you, I know you're not a betting man, and I would like to bet to win. Let me tell you something. Unless we can remove that item, is there a way? Can it be removed? That the two of us agree that
to do without the referendum.
For
the court part we can, but to remove the queen.
No.
That's deeply entrenched.
No, I am talking about limitations by the elective process. A percentage of the election to give you the right to do it.
I don't think so. And I think we have to comply with the Constitution as is in order to be able to
Granny, have you tested
change.
it? Is a whole heap of us
And therefore therefore the only thing we can do is to see our common complaint, our common malady, and deal with it. And I am pledging you and pledging myself that when the issue is before the people, we must be able to stand together. But what I can't understand is why the present government, yes, will not simply say, look, we agree that the Privy Council don't want us. They've said so openly twice, if not more. Twice that I can quote. Yes, please, could you make a different arrangement? Yes, Jamaica people cannot get justice from the Privy Council, more and so, because we can't go England. Yes, you can't afford to go England now, you know, G. So I'm saying, what is the stubbornness on behalf of the government? Mr. Siaga, God rest him, said the only pure justice comes from the Privy Council. Yes, he said that.
The only progress
pure justice
Yes.
comes from the Privy Council.
Yes.
Mr. Siaga's gone to his father Abraham. Yes, let him do that. Can't we move beyond that? We are paying for a court that we do not have full access to.
And what is preventing us from having it?
The decision, the political obstinacy of the present government.
There's more than that.
What?
Apart from the two political parties, there is a point in Jamaica where people are objecting, and are not objecting for PNP or JLP.
Well, if there are such persons, okay? I know, for example, Mr. Frank Phipps, a very highly regarded person, feels that we should deal with the question of reparations before we leave the Privy Council, because if we leave the Privy Council, then we don't have any claim, any forum for a claim. Yes,
He may have a point, but
I do not think that can be so persuasive.
Yes.
Put in a claim, but I do not think that is persuasive enough to allow us to stay where we are. So for goodness sake, you can't sit down in Garden House, or you can't sit down in the lunchroom, or here, as we do here, and come to an understanding on that one?
Ronnie, not because we are here. We were there. And while we were there was no effort on outside to say, listen, let us depoliticize one item. Right? Depoliticize it. It's not a PNP supporting and jail. Some JLP don't support it. Some JLP, like me, strongly support it.
Sure.
Some PNP oppose it.
But then can't we reason with each other and move beyond the fact that there is differing opinion? Can't put a full stop to the subject. Human nature is able to move for perfection. You know, we're looking forward to eternal life.
I was talking to my friend in Reddy's last night. You know what him tell me?
What did he tell you?
So Mr. Charles, tell Mr. Tweet. You see, all this constitutional thing that is being taught, it's going to take us years.
Him not to tell me, him have to tell the Prime Minister.
Years for any agreement to come out of that to get any new constitution.
So what about?
And he said, listen, I may have a little point. Listen, he said, you know, why we select 10 or 15 people who we have confidence in Jamaica. They're bright or they're brilliant, they understand it, and we say, go and prepare it and give it to us.
Well, I don't have confidence in them.
You?
No.
But I have confidence in you.
Thank you very much, sir.
So you don't have confidence in me.
No, because two of those persons there, the two chairpersons, have made statements.
No, but I'm not talking about them.
Oh.
I'm saying, can
we find
select
those? Yes, we could.
a group of people in Jamaica?
Of course.
Private sector, PNP,
everybody,
JLP,
without doubt. Absolutely, we could.
A small group.
Yes.
That is going to say, this is what we are presenting for you.
Absolutely. We started that in 1991 with Carl Stone, God rest him, as chair, and we didn't finish it up. We can do it now.
Well, let me tell you something. If you don't do it that way, when you and I come back with Abraham, we will hear say, it never happened.
Well, so what is preventing us? Pure stubbornness, one-upmanship. That is the only.
But then, if you have the answer, why are you asking me?
Well, because
stubbornness, one-upmanship,
I'm hoping.
Power.
Sure. So I'm hoping. But
Garden House, King's House.
So what?
Oh, hold on. Next one I want to show you, because the man joked me with it last night.
Look at that.
He said, Mr. Charles, where can we find a man in Jamaica to run for Governor General that is neither PNP nor JLP?
But I wouldn't. Why does he want that?
Because he would like the Governor General to be elected by the people of Jamaica.
Sure. So, but membership,
Is it one man or two men?
Membership in the JLP or the PNP should not disqualify that person from running, because there are people who have run who have been appointed into those kind of high positions.
But if he's running, he's not one man running.
No.
The two men, or three, or whole of men.
It may be.
So
but then you pick the best man.
How do we put the vote around that? Political or what?
No, well, the politician may very well say, yes, the political party may very well say, we favor this candidate.
Because he's in favor of us.
Well, but no, hopefully, probably that, but also because he's a good man. If you and I were on both sides, yes, running for Governor General, I would vote for you. Because you would make a better Governor General than me. And I would tell PNP people that they must vote for you.
Why do you think so?
You represent, in your background and your career, more of the ethos of the average Jamaican person than I do, although I have a role. Okay.
Yes.
And in addition to that, I feel that one can broaden that in that there would be a sense of your engagement with all of them, more of them, which would be very, very important, not only locally but on a world stage. So there's no. If
I maintain what I have, what you think I have, and what you help me to create, I'll make a better country.
But yeah, you would.
Yes.
There's no doubt. And
but I'm not the only. There's some good guys around.
No, absolutely, sir. There's no doubt about that. So what we do is to build unnecessary obstacles to our own progress and think that we are being bright. And we did that. We did that in Gordon House yesterday. And that's why we're going to speak to Bobby Stevens of the Advocates Network in just a moment. But the thing saddened me because we do things.
Well, what was done in Gordon House? The Speaker of the House did not accept a proposal to debate on her.
No, the Speaker of the House did something more than that.
Yes.
Let's postpone the details of the discussion until after the break, which is coming up.
Yes.
But it was more than that. First of all, you think that you, Honorable Pernell Charles, Speaker of the House of Representatives, could have ever, and I am sitting in the back bench, you could have ever refused to turn on my microphone? You could never do that.
No.
You could only govern me according to the standing orders.
No. You must say not that I couldn't.
You wouldn't.
Would I?
No.
But you know what I would have done? I know what I would have done.
What you would have
If you were getting up to debate me, I would have asked the deputy to take the chief.
Of course.
And I would go and defend myself from the floor.
Yes. Well,
you understand
that certainly would be what I expected of you.
No, but I understand also that you could. Did you have to lay the thing on the table, or you could send it directly to the committee?
No. So how that come? Something like that. Is it of public interest? Answer me. If it's of public interest, yes. Why not let the public have access to it?
And my man up ready said he was going to say the same thing, and he said, I must tell you, you know how many members of parliament have gone in half a tree to pay for not completing the Integrity Commission report?
Yes.
Do you know that there's a provision to go directly to the court?
So what are you doing? Making excuses?
Eh?
What are you saying? You're making excuses? Let's take the break on the public eye. We'll come back on this subject and more afterwards. Thanks for being with us on the public eye. This is Bridge 99 FM, broadcasting particularly to the Jamaican diaspora anywhere in the world, but also linking up on 99 FM with the audience in Jamaica. Bobby Stevens, welcome.
How are you? Good afternoon, Ronnie.
I'm well, and you are welcome. And the Honorable Pernell Charles O.J. welcomes you too.
Oh, greetings, Pernell.
Greetings, my brother. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Bobby Stevens, first of all, what is the Advocates Network of which you are co-founder?
We are a collaboration of a number of organizations and individuals who are essentially promoting good governance as well as justice and fair play. You know, those are the focal points that we are speaking out about. And when we see things that we don't agree with, we make statements, we issue letters, we whatever.
Are you PNP or JLP?
Neither. The fact is that when the PNP is in power, we are GLP, and when the GLP is in power, we are PNP, because they all regard us as members of the opposition.
Well, you are a part of the opposition. I don't follow that. Explain that to me.
Him say they're non-partisan.
No, you say...
We are non-partisan. The whole point is that we are regarded by those in power usually as being the opposition, because we don't agree with what they're doing.
Yeah, but do they do anything, those who are in, whether PNP or JLP, that your association give support to or credit to?
Absolutely.
So why would they...
When we come out and we say, look, we think this is excellent. However, the fact is that the big problem recently is that there are so many things that we have to speak negatively about because we don't agree with them.
Yesterday, Bobby Stevens of Advocates Network, the Integrity Commission, which has been the subject of quite some criticism and attack by certain members of Parliament, issued a report concerning the returns, the alleged falsification of returns by the integrity returns by the Speaker of the House, the Honourable Marisa Dalrymple-Philibert, a person who I need to say clearly I have had great interaction with and admiration for. The Advocates Network has taken exception to that, the way that issue was handled. Please tell our audience and us what your concerns are.
Well, first of all, I think if you're handling a report which points fingers at you, you should not be the person that is handling that report. You should have allowed the Deputy Speaker of the House to handle it. That's number one. Number two, to be referring it for organizations outside, whether it is parliamentary committees or whatever, to review it, again, is wrong. What you should do is step aside and say, look, since this report is alleging that I have made errors in my presentation, I will step aside and allow others to deal with it. That's the right way to handle it, instead of getting into this big cascade. But it really points to the fact that we're not necessarily going up in terms of our governance and the way that we manage our affairs. We need to be far more careful about what is conveyed to the public. If you're going to continue with this type of approach, what will happen is that everybody will believe that, look, crime is really and corruption and all that is something that is accepted. And therefore everybody is going to get involved in it, and it will get worse.
Let's look at the context. The Integrity Commission report would have been to the knowledge of the Prime Minister. It would have been to the knowledge of the Deputy Speaker by the clear statement of the Integrity Commission, and it would have been to the knowledge before of Mrs. Philibert. Why did they allow what happened yesterday to go on?
Well, that's our question. Fact is that it should have been in mud, but instead it now becomes a big cascade. Why does everything have to become a big cascade?
Well,
let us recognize that integrity is something that people should cherish. And if she feels that her integrity is intact, then allow other people to look at it and judge it and deal with it. Don't get involved in the middle of it.
No, but first of all, the leader of the opposition tells us that a report was tabled, but only one hard copy and a thumb drive was provided. What kind of foolishness is that? And every member is entitled to a copy.
But I'm sorry, I did not even realize that was.
But that's not what we have been doing.
What you've been doing?
We have not provide copies to everybody.
Why?
Because them leave it on the desk.
No, that can't be a reason.
No.
What they must. If you're telling
for a
me,
long time,
sir, I remember, and you helped me. If we're giving a financial report for the Milk River Bath, yes, and you say people leave it on the desk, that's fine. You know, it's wrong, they shouldn't, because every single government department deserves scrutiny. But where you have a report from the Integrity Commission, which is touching and concerning any member of the House, and particularly the presider of the House, yes, a role that you played with distinction, sir. You don't tell me you provide, or check the website.
No.
Unless you want to hide something.
No, Ronnie, hold on. When I was Speaker of the House, it was agreed by the committee advised to me that there's no need to make 60 or 70 copies.
Wrong.
You make a certain amount that the front benches, in other words.
Yeah, they never get it yesterday.
Huh?
They never do that.
No.
They never do that.
Of course we did that.
No, they did for other things, but yesterday.
No, I'm not talking yesterday.
But yesterday, there's something.
No, I'm not going there. I'm going on when I was there.
Yeah, but
that
sir,
we didn't do all 60, but we did enough for all who would be interested to have a hard copy. The rest of people the other way.
That itself is a very dubious process in my mind, and I said so when I had the opportunity to address you on that point. But be that as it may. So you lay the thing, and I mean, Bobby Stevens. There's a maxim that we all were taught, you know, that a lawyer who is his own attorney is not very sensible. I could use stronger words. There are lawyers abounding on the government side of the House. None of them could tell Marisa, look here, you can't do this. It's about you. Hey, what's happening?
It probably indicates that there is no check and balance before things reach that stage.
Bobby, let me ask you a question.
And then and then all these government members cheer on and think this is the right way to do it. You must be mad.
No, but let me say,
Bobby, your connection is very poor. You know, are you able to alter your position? We're getting a whole heap of static.
Sorry, hold on.
Getting worse. Hello?
Is this better?
It is now.
Yeah, I was saying to you, how does a report that go to Parliament about a parliamentarian go to the court in Halfway Tree? How does it get there? I know that a number of members who have not filed their report have gone to court and have been charged, pay, and...
No, Brethren's going to court anyway, you know.
Yes,
that's what Mr. Panton is saying, Honourable Mr. Justice Panton is saying to us this morning.
That's what?
That whatever you do or you don't do in Parliament,
yes,
this matter is going to Halfway Tree Court.
But it has been there.
So, no,
I know several MPs who have gone to court because they didn't do it and they pay
but what's the point of that? You mean it's just normal? It happened?
No, I wouldn't say that's just normal. It happened. And I am not trying to defend because if I were there, I would not sit and have you
deliberate
on myself unless I have an opportunity to say why. So I would go to the floor, and if I have to defend myself, I would say, Mr. Speaker or Mr. Speaker, and I have a presentation, opposition of it. I have it.
Yes,
I don't think that I would say you can't discuss me.
And turn off the microphone on you. What allowed Chuck to
But you can't turn off microphone.
She did.
No, Ronnie. You cannot turn off a microphone from the speaker.
No, but this is the...
No, let's clear that.
No respect, sir.
No, let's clear that.
Yes,
you cannot turn off a microphone. The microphone is turned off by engineers outside of the Parliament.
What we were told yesterday, sir, is that for the first time, yes, for the first time, a new system is in place that only the speaker, the microphone for Mark Golding could only function if the speaker allowed it to be. Bobby Stevens, tell us about the statement that you're putting forward.
It's very serious, you know, because you're saying that
she controlled the talk about herself.
Well,
and what the people of Jamaica
I would like to check that out and come back here.
Okay, well, it happened. That's exactly what happened.
No, she refused to have this debate.
No, she refused to allow.
Does not mean she can't turn it off.
So why Golden could not make himself heard? That's why they walked out of the house.
But he could make herself heard if she don't say, Mr. Golden, speak. No, but that's what it said.
No,
you said, Mr. Speaker, I have a thing.
You're talking about, they're saying there's a different kind of system. But let's hear from Bobby. The important thing is that the statement of the Advocates Network and others, I wish to associate myself with that statement. What does it say, Bobby? Hello? Oh, this is very disappointing. Could you try and get Bobby Stevens again? The connection is very, very uncertain.
Now, I say they have a new system that the speaker can decide who speaks and who don't speak.
Yeah, whose microphone functions and who doesn't.
No,
Yeah. Well, you will find that out. That was what we were told yesterday. But Sir P, beyond all of that, how can the government member support having a person who is charged on a criminal offence, going to be charged on a criminal offence? Yes? How can she remain as a speaker? Why would the Prime Minister allow his own repute, the repute of the person herself?
Yeah, but you have to wait.
Wait for what?
Well, he couldn't say yesterday, yes, Parliament no meet since that.
No.
Parliament don't meet since it was tabled.
He knew what was going on in Parliament.
The Prime Minister gets a copy?
Of course, he must know beforehand.
And who else gets a copy?
The Deputy Speaker, the Clerk of the House. The Deputy Speaker is related to the Prime Minister. You mean I should not tell him? If he didn't know individually? There's no question about it.
Well, you know, Ronnie, that when I was there, I didn't know that the reports from the Integrity Commission were being distributed to other people.
What kind of folly is that then?
So why the opposition leader didn't get a copy?
Because he just didn't. He just didn't.
No. To be fair in Parliament, if the Speaker gets a copy, the Deputy Speaker gets a copy, the Prime Minister gets a copy,
Bobby's back
the
on.
leader of the opposition should get a copy.
Tell us about the statement, Bobby.
All right. Essentially, we really wish the Speaker to step aside with respect to matters like this. And it's sad that what happened yesterday happened. But the reality is that we need to recognize that integrity and trust and things related to the parliamentarians in particular is at a particularly low level in terms of the populace. You know, people feel that they just can't trust what is happening. And it really doesn't smell good when this type of thing is done. If you have a case that is involving you, you cannot be the judge and jury and the person who is in charge of presenting it. Step aside. Simple.
What concerns me is, apart from Mrs. Philibert, who, again, I say I've always had high regard for and would hope that she can clear herself in this instance. What about the other 40-odd people who are there? They don't see the unseemliness. They do not see the diminution of their own regard and respect in the eyes of the public. If they go along with this, they couldn't say to her, "Listen now, come now. It's time to. Can you just let Mrs. Holness take over, and can we just deal with it a different way?" If Mrs. Philip,
I totally agree with you, Ronnie. The fact is that, you know, the collective responsibility of parliamentarians, and in particular those who are on the government side, should have advised her that really and truly this is not only not good, it just don't smell good.
If it's all well and good for us to prescribe, and I do so with humility, but if Mrs. Philibert had said, "Look here, here's a situation. The Integrity Committee has taken this view. I may have made a mistake. I'm extremely sorry about it. I haven't benefited in any I haven't thieved any money or anything like that. I'm sorry. I'll make recompense or accept whatever consequence there is. But I just want to be clear that I accept the situation." It done, you know.
Yeah, but what's going to be debated?
There was no debate.
What was going to be debated?
No, hold on. A debate is
Yeah.
an interchange between two sides about a particular motion.
Why-
Wait. First of all, the
Yeah, go
idea
ahead.
of a debate was Mrs. Philibert's words. Golding wasn't asking for any debate. Golding was asking a question as to what was going to happen in the circumstances of the report. There was no debate. There was
And
no
she
debate
had-
planned.
Well, if you had asked me, I would say, Mr. Golden, this report is going to be sent to the two committees.
No.
That
Hello,
reports
sir.
on it.
Mr. Charles, I beg you, sir. Truly.
Yes.
You know those committees don't meet.
What do you mean?
You know no
But-
committees of the House but
you
one
can
or two.
But you direct
First
them
of
to
all,
me.
First, direct what? You could have you directed so much committees to meet that never meet.
So you're saying that the debate should be among the committee yesterday?
I'm not saying there should have been any debate at all.
well, what are you
There
saying?
was a question of clarification that should have been allowed. Secondly, the referral to the Integrity Committee oversight group committee in the House, yes, has no jurisdiction to enter into any study of a report. They are to look at the overall functioning of the Integrity Committee. The Ethics Committee,
Yes.
when last has that met?
I don't know, but it is standing there,
Okay, and
the report has been. But that is where if you were in Parliament, you would make sure that the Ethics Committee meet next week.
No, sir, I could not do that. You know I couldn't do that.
What?
I tried to get the committees to work in Parliament for 24 years and couldn't do that. They never
Oh,
worked.
Ronnie, I was on the Ethics Committee and I met several times.
Well, I wonder. I'm so glad to
As a
hear that.
speaker.
I yield. The question is, Bobby? How do we lift the repute, the people's view about the integrity of Parliament now?
Well, first of all, I think that the Speaker of the House needs to resign because this is not something that can be tolerated. I think the whole approach and the way it was handled was terrible. You have to restore some level of confidence in Parliament and parliamentarians. And I just feel that that has been seriously compromised by what happened yesterday.
You're saying that she should have entertained a debate on the report?
No.
No, I
What she
don't
should
think
do?
she should have presented it at all.
What she
She
should
should
do?
have let the Deputy Speaker of the House
Yeah.
present the report, number one, and number two, let the chips fall where they may. But in any case, I certainly, in her case, should have stepped aside.
Well,
Because
I will
there's a
tell you, let me say it publicly.
Yes.
If it was a report against me, I would have asked the Deputy Speaker to take the chair and to put the report on the floor. You follow me? And if needs be, I would be on the floor to defend it if I need to defend
You
it.
would say what you had to say.
Exactly.
You'd make your position clear.
Exactly.
Yes. So, but and that would have been, Bobby. That would have been a acceptable and correct way to do it. Please.
Absolutely, but to essentially continue or go on as if nothing has happened and be the person presenting it and then defend it the way that she did and lock off other people from speaking, that's ridiculous. That's moving more towards a situation where we're compromising our democracy.
Well, let me ask Ronnie something who was there. This thing goes to these committees now. Does it come back to Parliament? It comes back to Parliament for a debate.
If and when they want.
Ronnie,
No, I
it
have
comes
to-
back to
no,
Parliament
look,
for a debate.
Pernell, the answer, of course, is yes.
Yes.
According to the rules.
Okay.
No.
How
it's not-
does it get to
can't-
half a
you-
tree?
You can't stay there.
How does it go to half a
No,
tree?
we're coming to that. But you cannot say that there is some recourse because it comes back to Parliament at some stage. The fact of the matter is that the reports of committees can come back to Parliament and can stay there and not be debated for months and for years. That is the truth.
But yesterday's gone.
One. That is-
Tomorrow is coming, and that is what we have to talk about.
No.
We have to see that it goes to the committee
But who can do that? The same
and
person.
deliberate and comes back to Parliament.
The person who has the authority to do that is the Speaker of the House. That's the truth, sir. And in this case, the Speaker of the House is her thing.
But I think she says that. She said that it is sent to this committee.
Right, sir.
And
Yes.
She
She
this
says-
is the PNP who head the committees, you know.
No, absolutely not.
Who?
She's not. She the Speaker is the chair of the Integrity Committee, of the Ethics Committee. She, the speaker.
But she cannot.
She said she
can't
recused.
chair it.
She said she
Cannot.
will. No, but
She's referring it to herself.
she.
No, she said
she
that
said
she
that she
will
will recuse, and I'm no doubt that she will. But when it comes back to Parliament, yes, the report comes back. Who makes the decision whether it goes forward or not for debate?
The deputy speaker.
No, she's the speaker. She'll be back in the chair by then unless something happens, as Bobby Stevens and the other people of similar mind are proposing. It is hopeless. And as far as your question is concerned, so how does it get to the criminal court? The law that we passed gives the Director of Prosecutions in the Integrity Committee the right to lay a complaint in the courts. The only person who can stop it is the Director of Public Prosecutions. No committee of Parliament can have any.
So it maybe have gone to the courts.
It will,
Okay.
from what the report seems to say and what the law supports it saying.
Yes.
But we don't. Why do we need to tie up ourselves in these things? Yeah, and why would not? What does it say about what the government stands for?
No,
Well,
I don't know why.
I
don't
just
know
want to
why
make
you
a
put
point
it.
here.
I
Can I
am not
make a
going to
point?
accept that you should put this to the government. I am saying no.
Who is in charge?
One of the things that we would like to see, Ronnie, and Pernell, let's face it, there needs to be a proper code of conduct for parliamentarians. And this needs to be driven by the government, and it needs to be signed off on by the Prime Minister. What is happening in society is not correct. In any case, at the end of the day, the Speaker, based on this total presentation yesterday, should resign.
Why?
Well, all right. If it's not obvious to you, maybe I'm missing something, but it's obvious to me.
But I'm surprised at your response for now. She can't garner the respect that she deserves as Speaker of the House by continuing when this thing is hanging over her head. She can't do that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
it's not
not.
good. Not good for her. I mean, you know of my own case. You know of previous instances. You can't do that. Once something is there that is substantive, yes, you have to step aside, clear yourself, and come back. Tell me if I'm wrong, sir.
No, I'm not suggesting that you're wrong, and I'm not supporting anything that would say you're wrong in taking a stand.
Uh-huh.
But I am saying also that the committees are there to deliberate, the Parliament is there to deliberate, and the opposition is there to follow it and have it done.
The opposition is there.
But this don't have nothing to do with no committee. This is something where your own integrity, right, is on the line. Step aside. You know,
Bobby, I have no objection to say if I were there and the matter come from me, that I would not sit in the chair.
So therefore,
I would have the deputy dealing with that.
So
I
therefore,
mean, anybody with an ounce of integrity would do that.
yeah, this bit about having a set of rules for parliamentarians, Bobby Stevens, you tell big man or woman how them have to behave himself?
Well, buddy, it come to that because it is clear that we're not behaving right. And certainly what is being presented in Parliament to the country is not smelling good at all.
That's unfortunately true. I don't think anybody can deny that today. And it is so, in my view, it is a disservice to a conscientious parliamentarian, Mrs. Philibert, whatever is the truth regarding this car, this Mercedes-Benz car. The way it was handled was so unnecessarily bad and prejudicial to the honor of Parliament. And Sir Pernell Charles, you've been there for 40-odd years, so you need to, and you do defend the integrity of Parliament.
Well, I defend the integrity of Parliament.
Yeah, man.
And I work with the integrity of Parliament. And I said in this case that I would not have handled my own case.
And then,
I would have allowed somebody else to handle it.
Bobby, before you go, at least 3 or 4 Queen's Counsel sit down in the Parliament and support that?
Well, That is even digging a little deeper. The fact is that she should have been at least discouraged from going that route.
No, I'm a road scholar like
and maybe she just stood up and said she going anyway. It's ridiculous.
Oh, anyway, thanks for the call, son. Yes, all the best.
And Pernell.
Good. Co-founder of the Advocates Network, Bobby Stevens, on the issue of the parliamentary impasse yesterday and the ongoing unresolved role or issue of the Integrity Committee Commission's report on the Speaker of the House. When we come back, there's more. This is the Public Eye with Pernell Charles and myself. Remind you of our telephone lines, 876-551-5782 and 876-676-4996. This is the Bridge 99 FM. You're welcome to call us if you will. Mr. Charles, we move on from that contentious issue, which will dominate public discourse for quite a while, unfortunately. I'm hoping the Prime Minister just deals with it firmly and in a constructive way.
I share your hope.
Yeah. And let's just clarify one other thing. I'm asking your question. You're parliamentarian of long vintage. My view is that, let me start with the question. I did not know that if you got a 20% concession, that you were obliged to use that vehicle that was bought under the concession yourself for at least 3 years.
Before you can sell it.
Okay. Well, okay. So you can't give it to anybody. You can't give it to anyone else. Okay. I wasn't aware.
But I don't think that if you go to court, you come to my court and say, listen, my sister didn't have any vehicle. I have two, and she's driving it. My name is on it. My license is on it. I don't think that.
I think we should clear that. But let me ask you the bigger question. Recently, parliamentarians and senior civil servants who are also the beneficiaries of this 20% concession have got significant salary increases. Yes? Why we don't stop all this concession business now? Just pay people properly and make them live their life.
Well, it's so easy to say. You have just said it a while ago and completed with a full stop. But it is...
This gentleman, you see?
But, Ronnie... Yeah. Just on the lighter side, have you seen what is happening in the roads?
Coming to that.
Have you seen more women are driving cars in Jamaica today than any other time in their life?
Okay.
More women are owning cars than any other time. More public servants are driving to work that can't even find parking space.
And congested and wasting gas that we all pay for. Anyway, coming to that in a minute. But why don't we stop all these concessions and all of these extra things that were added on when in place of proper salary increases? I don't see why we need that.
But the Prime Minister tried to put a proper salary, and all he has done is cause more people to go to the MPs for more assistance, more school assistance, more medical assistance, more housing assistance. It don't help.
Well, here you say that, but I'm in favor of.
Well, you're aware of that.
I am, obviously. Okay. I'm anxious for us to stop to clear away all of these special allowances. You know another thing? When I became a
before you got that, don't forget that.
No.
What do you think is a proper salary for a member of parliament who have to meet all of these things in the constituency?
Yeah, but I don't think the member of parliament should have to do that.
But Ronnie,
because
that is the system.
Yeah, but you and I are here to suggest that the system is not working. I do not wish to be a poor relief officer in my constituency.
But you were.
I was. I had to be.
You're not only you are a rent payer. Yeah. You are a medical assistant payer.
A baby father.
You are taxpayer,
a baby godfather,
your clothes to go to school,
all of those things.
and your baby, what do you call it?
Baby father.
Yeah, no, not baby father.
Baby godfather.
Godfather.
And funeral director.
Well, let me tell you something.
You remember that? Undertaker.
Let me tell you something. I said to my children,
Yes.
and told them, professionals,
Yes, yes.
what the hell are you doing here? You said, that is you cause it.
Well, of course, and thank God you caused it, because
I don't know that.
No, I said public service is worthy, even with all of the quirks that we are speaking about. But I'm saying now that what we need to do is to have a proper system of social welfare, which means that if a person needs school assistance, if you need it. I was pleased this morning, funeral assistance, all that. Let me say, I was pleased this morning to hear your son, the Minister of Labour and Social Security, announce the rethinking and the revamping of the PATH program. Yes, a program for advancement of health and education. Yes, because that is the beginning of a social welfare system in Jamaica.
Yes.
Now, what one hopes is that will be so thorough done and so properly resourced that, in fact, it will take away from the MP the role, or the councillor, the role of being a BUPS. Yes, which distorts the political role and the prime function of the person.
You didn't hear the other one, which I have not consulted, but I don't want to see it as a congratulation, that there are some people who are getting allowance now.
Yeah. Yes, I heard that. Who shouldn't be?
No, what they're getting can't even go to the supermarket.
Well, this is it.
What do you call it?
The amount. The stipend, the benefit.
Yeah, but the legal one you're talking about. Right? Where you work and they're giving you some
the
money.
pension.
Pension. There are certain people who have work in the public sector. Only 10% of the public sector have a pension.
Yes, I didn't know that.
90% of people who work
on contract
did not contribute towards a pension.
Well, look at the teachers don't.
Hold on. And in the government now, people who have been there and are in their 70s, 80s, their pension can't pay the taxman to go to work.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So he's now saying that you have to also examine pension for those who are getting and for those who are suffering who did not have a chance to try to get it.
Yes, sir. So let me bite my tongue now and ask you something.
I don't know you're going to manage because you have to go help him.
Well, no, but I want him to help us because both of us are retired parliamentarians. Could you live on the pension you get, sir, after so many years of service in the ministry?
No, but
yes or no?
No, the answer is no. But I tell you what I did. I was fortunate that I have 6 children. Out of the 6, 2 are businessmen. 1 is an attorney. And
everybody's professional.
Everybody's professional. So they're fighting as to who will take care of me this weekend.
Well, this is lovely. But
hold on. Patricia Carter said I didn't at 67.
It's not, and it's not everybody's in that position.
No.
And I appreciate that. So what we want is for us to have a proper system of social security. Why can't we do that?
You always tell me what we should have had.
So why not?
What we want and what to get it.
Yeah.
But every attempt to get it is either too expensive or people are free. Why the private sector was unable to get people to contribute to a pension?
The private sector has no interest in that. The private sector has very sectional, limited interests, and they have no interest in engaging something which they see as, and I think properly so.
And those are the people that are coming now to you and I and the government that they are totally out. They need food, they need clothes.
Absolutely.
And the Ministry of Labour and Social Security must now help to get them a pension. Increased pension and pension for those who don't have.
What we do is an effort, an attempt. It's better than it used to be, but it is still hopelessly inadequate given inflation. I want to say something, though, and to conclude this point. When you're dealing with when Minister Childs is dealing with the PATH and the entitlement to benefit, you engage the school principals.
Right, you know that as far as I am concerned,
Yes.
I think I told you,
You
as
did.
minister
Yeah.
that I'm sorry you didn't see to it.
Mm-hmm.
My principal
Yeah.
was in charge of my school.
Yeah.
Any picnic who never bailed themselves on ABC
Yeah.
was sent up to 6th class, shared to Teacher Williams.
Yeah.
He was in charge of discipline,
Yeah.
children,
Yeah.
discipline teachers.
Welfare.
And when parents come, he also stand before the teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't
I
have that
listen-
anymore
I-
because we have too many people who get our work.
I happened today on a talk to just put the radio on a talk show, and heard a parent want to drape up the principal of a high school because the principal of the high school sent home her son, says here is in disorder in his shoes. Yes? And he has to be defending himself on the radio to the public of Jamaica about that. You think Teacher Williams would ever put up with that, sir?
But teacher would not send home a child like that. In fact, don't go as far as Teacher Williams, like the lady I told about in Clarendon,
Yeah.
who cried when
Yeah.
one child.
No,
you know,
but
Fanny,
rules
like
are
that.
rules. If you send your child to the school, you read the rule book. Yes, don't come with any nonsense.
Yeah, but I want to tell you something. We need to say to some of the teachers who are using their very salary to pay for children who are coming to school for lunch,
No, I understand
clothes,
that.
and books.
I know that very well, and they are to be commended. But I was speaking.
And those are teachers,
Sure.
not employees of education.
Not
they
genuine
are
people.
genuine
But
people who
the important
teach
thing
and educate and also to grow up.
But parents must respect the rules of the school.
Yes.
Yes, and not run to the public or run to the Ministry of Education if they're egregious cases, of course. But this notion that my precious child is now growing up and he can dress the way he was, so my girl can do
And
this.
if you touch Miguel, they come grab you up.
None of that. None
Come
of
grab
that.
up teacher. Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine that? And that is what is causing a lot of the migration. But to hear a school principal have to be defending a rule about deportment on the radio, yes, and back and forward and being told that he doesn't listen, yes, this is egregious. We do not understand how we distort freedom. That is not freedom, yes.
Let
That
me
is
tell you what
license and bullyism.
Let me tell you what bothers me. We have a school board made up of parents, teachers, and some children.
Yes, a representative.
Now, why that board is not given more prominence?
Well, it's exactly what we're saying, sir. Instead of that, the Ministry of Education, unfortunately, is putting out a suggested revision of the education code, which centralizes the system more than it is even at present, when in fact what we need to do is to empower our school boards and our principals more, so that they can run the institution, subject to supervision, yes, but they can have more ample responsibility for what goes on there.
There was an attempt, I don't know if it's under you, to take away the authority from Member of Parliament to name boards because they were putting on their best politicians.
Let me explain what I did. It was me. And what I came and found was that the Member of Parliament, PNP or JLP, had the responsibility, had the onus for virtually appointing the chair of school boards. Yes, except in religious schools where the head of the religious denomination has that privilege. And I said, no, that wasn't right. First of all, you can't take away some input from the Member of Parliament because he or she is the people's representative.
Yes.
But my view was that the education officer, who knows about the superintendents and the performance of the school, its credits and its deficits, and the principal, yes, needed to be consulted as well. I wanted nominations from the Member of Parliament, from the education officer, and from the principal, yes? And hopefully those three persons would come together and suggest the best person to be principal.
I had principals who said to me, Mr. Charles, please don't change Miss Birdie.
Sure.
Because She works so well with us.
So that's
she helped us so well.
That is exactly the combination that you wanted. If it's left to the MP alone, as it was, then I think you're running the risk of it becoming a partisan issue.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you have to send your man up there to run things.
Well,
and
so
you can't run things in school. So headmaster must run things.
If you share the responsibility of nomination, that is it. I hope that's what's happening now. I do not know that it is.
I don't. But let me say, and I want to take the opportunity to say congratulations. Well, not necessarily to encourage the present Minister of Education, because it is not an easy thing to run, and you're there. And you were there when things were much easier.
I was.
And I want to say, I want to hear you make some recommendations to the minister, Ronnie. I want to make some private or public recommendation, because you've been there.
Yes, and I write about it regularly, and I'm happy to do that, and I would be happy if I could assist in any way possible, and I hope I'm finding other ways to do that. But again, the system that you and I know make it impossible for a person of deep PNP connections to be engaged in any intimate way with the policy of a JLP government.
But it's on both sides. Your side would say, Ronnie, why you going to help them both?
They did.
And the other side would say to her, why you
so
where are we going?
Well, this is the whole thing. I tried to live according to a different principle. When I served as minister, for a period of time, Mrs. Dalrymple-Philibert was the opposition spokesperson. I encouraged her to come to the ministry, to have a desk there, because I wanted to share whatever papers I got with her and to listen to her and understand. It didn't work as well as it could have with more time, but I felt that this was the education system is not for one side or the other. And in any event, in 2004, Mr. Seaga and Mr. Patterson had come to a joint decision that education was going to be removed from the political fray. Therefore, it was my responsibility and duty to follow that. Is that still the case?
You handle it from outside the fray.
Yes.
How well did you think you did?
We began something, and I encouraged participation. It wasn't always as well done. I made some mistakes, but you could not. It's wrong to make decisions about education based upon party loyalties. It is wrong. You cannot do it. And to the extent that there is even a subliminal way in which that still is the case, it is wrong.
A man just called me and said to me, Colonel, Ronnie has just said he did something and it was wrong. You have never said you haven't done anything that was wrong. I'm going to answer by saying, maybe I never do anything wrong.
You know the thing that I regret? Once I went into East Central St. James, Ed Bartlett's constituency, with a person who was then the caretaker of the constituency.
Yes.
And I toured some schools with her and other people.
Yes.
And I did not pay him the courtesy of calling him beforehand and saying, I'm coming to this constituency that you represent. Here's who is coming with me, who has invited me. Will you join us? Or at least will you know that this is what I am doing, and this is what the outcome is for the schools, etc. And he called me afterwards and said, is this what happened? And immediately on the spot, I had to say, listen, I was wrong. Shouldn't have done it that way, because no minister should come into another person's constituency and not tell them before. And I regret to this day that happened.
Yes, and your candidate did not win.
No, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, even if he was a member of parliament at the time.
No, but I agree with you.
And therefore, you pay certain courtesies.
But Ronnie, that is where we want to go, and I'm not sure how fast we are heading there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we keep out here with your side and my side, we'll never have a constitution. We'll never leave the Privy Council, because you're going to get people here who say no.
So what is it? What is your answer?
I will
what
tell
is
you,
your
I have
suggestion?
to go and consult.
Well,
Because the truth is this, I'm not sure that I can say anything that is going to work. Because I am convinced that as long as the Constitution requires Jamaicans, PNP and JLP to vote
yeah.
as PNP and JLP, you are going to have, right now, the amount of people, if you judge it from the amount of people who can vote, you'll never make it. If you judge it from the amount of people who are registered to vote, you'll never make it.
Yes.
If you judge it from those who will vote, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
So we will not have an independence, a republic.
A constitutional change. Well, that's a pretty dismal conclusion coming from a person of your experience and pedigree. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. We take a break. We'll soon come back. Coming up to the last half hour of the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. The Honourable Pernell Charles is the co-host. Caller, good afternoon. Thank you for calling us.
Good afternoon, Mr.
You need to turn off your radio.
Yes, sir?
No, your radio is still on. You can't talk to us if the radio is on. Turn it off. No, you need to turn off the radio or the television, or it's going to make the call difficult.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. We're still having difficulty with you, you know.
No, I'm sorry. I'm doing the function.
All right, well, let's try now.
Yes, sir. Mr. Charles, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Well, I have a problem, you know. I said, I call this the radio station and if I can get some things to us. Yes. This, what I wonder is when you look on a farm worker and after you leave the program and when you retire, if the government of Jamaica do it again, they don't respond to it.
You go on farm work.
Yes.
You come back.
Yeah.
You retire.
Yeah.
And you're asking if the government have anything else for you.
No, if they don't have nothing to do with you again, because you're not in the program anymore.
Well, what you want them to have to do with you?
I have a problem with them where I'm a pensioner now. And when I was on the program with Simpson Miller, as the lady, tell us that when we were 9 seasons, we entitled to a full pension because our money paid for the year, our pension paid for the year, right? To the year.
What we're really having difficulty hearing you, you know, caller. But let me see if I can relate. You say that you were told during Mrs. Simpson Miller's time that if you did 9 seasons,
yes,
you would get some. There would be some pension for you.
You're entitled to your full pension when you come on.
Who would pay you the pension?
The Canadian.
Did you contribute? Did you contribute to the pension?
Yeah, we contribute to the pension. The government pay our pension, pay towards it. That is why she is telling us that.
Oh.
When we reach 9 seasons, we entitled to a full pension because our pension paid for the year. You know, sometimes you don't go to the year for the month, but you know, good. And she said on our arm. Now I'm getting pension. I've done 11 seasons. 11 seasons.
Yeah.
And I'm getting pension.
From who?
From the Canadian government.
Good.
Okay.
So what is your complaint?
My complaint is the full pension, the money, the full pension. Up to now, I'm getting $18.
$15 Canadian.
$18 Canadian.
Per month?
Per month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, sir. Hold on. What does that work out at $120?
18 Canadian dollars.
You mean how much Jamaican dollars? Yeah.
It start at $16 when I just start until it go up to $52 and they drop it down back to $18.
Why did it drop from 52 to 18?
I don't know.
But you never check it out,
Well,
caller.
that's what you
I
need to
don't
find
know.
out.
When I go to the Minister of Labour, they are telling me that they can't do none for that because it is the Canadian government problem that. No, that is why I asked the question, if the government of Jamaica does not have nothing to do with us when we retire, if they're only responsible for us when we are on the work, when we could work, where they could get the money to do what they want to do for the country, but after that, they don't respond to us again.
So what are you asking for the Ministry of Labour to advocate on your behalf for a bigger pension?
Yeah, intervene on my behalf.
So have you been to the ministry and put that to them?
I go there several times, and they told me that they can't do nothing towards it.
Sir,
I don't go recently, no, so I don't know what is the problem. I don't know where to turn.
sir,
Yes,
like,
Mr. Charles.
when you work with Mr. Brown in Toronto,
Yes.
and Mr. Brown pay you $50, Mr. Brown has to withdraw from your $50 and contribute from his money to the government of Canada.
Yeah.
And the government of Canada give you back a pension like if you were working in Jamaica and the Jamaican government draw from you, your employer draw and send it up, you would get it. So I don't know how you could be at a high and a low except on the basis of how much was drawn from you. And I don't know how permanent that would be over what period of time based on how much you contribute. I would have to examine it. I would have to take a check.
$18 Canadian a month sound very, very slim though.
And the problem is when I talk to one of them, because you have a lady there, I think it's Douglas was her name. Her name is Douglas. She was the person who responsible for those things in Toronto there.
Uh-huh.
The liaison officer.
Yeah.
And when I spoke with her, she's telling me that it is I think it's $38 something is the what I supposed to get. And when they draw tax out of that.
Oh. So
Tax out of $38, and when they draw the tax is what leave you get.
So
And you don't get the tax refund. They used to send a big book with where you pull up and you stand up on you end of the year and you spend this money to send it back. And nothing at all. You don't get for years. I don't get no tax refund from those people, and they're taking my money.
So is the liaison officer still helping you?
No, the liaison officer do have nothing to do with you. No, that's that I'm saying. That the ministry of labor know you're supposed to talk to and as contour. That is what they're telling me, that they do have nothing to do with that again. So I don't know.
But sir, the liaison officer is the Ministry of Labour, you know. The liaison officer is an employee of the Ministry of Labour.
And I would have thought that.
And represent the Ministry of Labour. They advise the Ministry of Labour here what is supposed to be done to you when you come back here.
Right?
Based on how much is drawn from you, whether you got 30 times or 40 times or 10 times. The amount of money that is drawn from you is what you're going to get back. You're not going to be there for life.
That is a savings. And I'm talking about the savings.
You're talking about pension. Uh-huh.
I'm talking about a pension.
So let me ask you that. So apart from the word that you remember, Prime Minister at the time, Simpson Miller, saying, you ever got any paper about your pension entitlements?
I don't got the paper. I go to the ministry and that's where they pull up the form and thing and send it up.
Yeah.
To get my pension.
Yeah. But no, but I mean, it would have been good if you had some letter, some paper saying that you were, you would be. This is the arrangement. This is what they're drawing, and this is what you could expect at the end of the day, and you could compare that with what the performance and the present money is. You see?
No, you don't get no paper, nothing like that.
Yeah.
You know, not like that. So why I called to hear what Mr. Charles would, can do about it, or if he could recommend me to go to the ministry, where to somebody there, maybe to his son or somebody, for them to take up my case, because I cannot understand you drawing my money for tax, and not even that I get back a year time.
Let me ask you one other question. Do you know any other workers who are in the same situation or a similar situation?
No, I don't know
Okay.
no workers that get pension.
Right.
I don't know any. I don't have none from where I work
Yes.
or getting pension or that I know.
Yeah.
I know friend who about to look about their pension.
Yeah. I want to say to you that if you were able to set out your issue and send it to us at the bridge, I know both Mr. Childs and myself would be happy to send it to the permanent secretary
Yes,
and ask them to at least to answer your queries. So
You mean
you can do that.
write it out, and
Yes, we would have to have something in writing,
write it.
But I'm going. Our producer can probably give you the address when we finish. Let me ask you a final question, though.
Yeah.
You spent. You said 12 seasons.
11 seasons.
11 seasons. How when you look back now and you consider the experience, was it a good experience? Did you benefit from farm work?
Oh yes, there's no complaint about that. I do have no regret about that, because what you make, to be frank, what you make when you go to farmer, you wouldn't make it in Jamaica here.
Yes, Mr. Childs has always said that.
I said, I can tell you this for sure. You couldn't buy a TV, or you couldn't buy a radio set when you work 1 week in our fortnight in Jamaica here from your money.
Yeah.
I have done that when I'm over by Canada, and I could be able to send money for my kids and still have money there back there saving, away from my saving.
Yes.
You understand? So it wasn't bad,
Yes.
And the treatment, there is one farm I ever go and get a rough time because I get injured, and I know I don't get nothing from them yet. There's a lawyer there who looking about it, and so that is one farm I ever go and mistreated.
Yeah. But your other experiences were positive?
My other experience was good because I worked at one factory for 7 years. And believe you me, and that factory it closed down.
Mm-hmm.
And after it closed down, I have to go to the bush.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And that one was really, really a nice factory.
Yes.
Let me ask you something.
A factory called Producer Processing.
Let me ask you, how old are you now?
I am 73.
When was the last? So you have been away from. How long was the last time? When was the last time you were traveling? At what age?
Oh, I don't quite remember.
It's a long time ago.
Yes, a long time ago. Yes, a long time.
But it's important that you tell us the story because there's been a lot of controversy about the benefit.
Yeah, but I can check this out, Ronnie.
Yes.
And we can broadcast it to you because a lot of things have improved since that. Mm-hmm. Negotiations, new government, new style, and increased salary and things. So I'm going to check this out because it's interesting what he's saying.
Yes. Well, send us a note now, and I'm putting you back to the producer now, and
Okay.
you get us the details, and we'll try at least put it in front of the right person for you.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for listening and for calling.
Thank you. Also, too, yeah.
All the best. Good.
Yeah.
Producer, please take that back for us. Well, that's a first-hand testimony to the value of the farm work program.
Yeah, but somebody questioned me about the last time we were discussing it.
Mm-hmm.
You said that there was a report from the United Nations
Yes.
in which they literally denounced the program.
Yes. Said it was modern-day slavery.
And
Or
me tell
elements
you,
of that.
Let me tell you something. I hear what the gentleman just said.
Mm-hmm.
He had been there long for many years.
12,
And
11.
people have said to me they are glad that I was on the program because one man said without that him don't know where he would be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But really, everything have some problems.
Yes. No. But
Can have 100% smooth
no.
road.
But I
But the
don't.
majority of Jamaicans,
I don't think we can discount what an official report of this nature says. But
Yes.
I've come to the conclusion that the majority of workers, as you're saying, do well by this experience.
and do better than if they were here.
Well, hear what the gentleman says. He said he
Exactly.
could never buy a radio set or a TV after working 2 weeks here,
Exactly.
but him get it up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And take care of people, them and him wife
Yes,
and,
yeah,
and him
and-
house.
Yeah. Well, no, there's no doubt there. So, I mean, we need to make sure the conditions are as good as possible. But frankly, if we could get 10,000 more seasonal worker positions, we would take it.
I told you, when I went to Canada as a minister, the Mexican government had an appointed officer who worked for the government of Mexico.
Yes, promoting it.
Seek and
Seeking it.
promoting.
Why don't we do that?
Well, our liaison officer is supposed to be doing that.
I don't think they are capable of knocking on the doors of the big employers.
Well,
They more deal with worker relationships.
I think we have gotten some jobs through contact there.
Okay.
But these are governments that officially set an agent for that.
Yes, I'm aware of that. And my view is that we need to be far more aggressive, maybe I should use the word assertive, in looking for overseas employment in circumstances where despite lower unemployment statistics in Jamaica, there are a lot of people who are earning inadequate wages. And if you want to build a middle class, which must be the ideal, then this is one avenue which needs to be cultured, don't you think?
You said something a while ago. I'll show it to you. So we have more people working, but some people are not able to survive on what they are getting. Although, and those who are not working decide they're not working for that. That is why there's a shortage.
And for other reasons.
And that's why there's a shortage of labor.
Yes.
Not that people are not here, but they're not paid, not working for what is being
No,
paid.
but there are many reasons why people won't work, you know. I mean, I got a job for a person some time ago, and that person really wanted to work. But then the person just simply flopped on the job in a matter of a day or two. And I wondered, and my immediate reaction was that this person was ungrateful, that this person didn't want to work, was just lazy and, up to nothing. And then I realized that I had not, in the whole process of getting the job, tested that the man was illiterate. And when he went on the job, he couldn't face it. Yes? And that was a problem. And I beg we were talking earlier about the Minister of Education. The thing that we would love to help with is to stop graduating illiterates from school. Yes, because we're broadening the
Whose
subject now.
responsibility is that, Ronnie?
It is the government's responsibility
No.
to hold on, Pernell.
Cannot be, man.
Wait, hear me out. It is the government's responsibility to introduce programs that make it possible for that to be the case. It's not their sole responsibility. Parents have a responsibility. Teachers have a responsibility. Students have a responsibility. But there is absolutely no question of the fact that the facilities to ensure that people are literate when they leave school, public policy has to support this.
You're younger than
At this point, it doesn't.
You're much younger than I am.
Really?
When I went to school, if you don't do well in second class, you cannot go to third class.
That changed up now, you know, sir.
Change up because somebody's at the door waiting for the seat that you're sitting in.
Yes, sir. So what you have to do is bring a next seat.
Expand the thing.
Yes.
To make sure that if a man don't qualify to go to third class, him can't leave second class.
Yeah, well, we don't know, but could we have a policy that says unless you meet the standards of the grade that you are in, you will not be advanced to the next grade? And that there will be a program of remediation in order to make you able to do that transition. That is what the state of Mississippi in the United States has done in the last 15 years. And instead of being the second to poorest state in the United States now, they have moved to a higher level. I took the report on that. Yes, I sent it to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, to the Minister of Finance. Yes, the Gleaner took it up and recommended it in an editorial. I having not because, but I had also written on it. Yes, and there is no effort to introduce this, sir. You cannot do this. Children are right now, this as we speak, being advanced to higher grades without having achieved the necessary standard to be able to cope with what they are now going to get.
And what is the excuse for doing that?
There's no excuse. It's just that the excuse is
space
is the one you get. No space and
population.
In my view, the space is not maybe in some cases, but by and large, not the instance. We do not have a culture of achievement which is sufficiently embedded, and that needs to be the case.
You frightened me, Rennie, when you told me you went to a graduation.
Yes, sir.
And so many of the people graduating couldn't read.
I'm telling you, the people quarreled because they were going to push the school officials. Were going to this is a high school supported by government money, supported by parents' contribution, supported by a church. It is only because I don't want to be invidious that I'm not naming it, and I would have to name more than one to my certain knowledge. And the few who qualified to be graduates, yes, were so small that they figured that they couldn't have a ceremony. And therefore what they had to put on was a ceremony which included anybody who got any kind of pass, yes? And even then, so many were left out who didn't get any pass at all, but that they ended up having to give a certificate to say you attended.
But that must be isolated.
No, sir, I'm sorry, it's not. If it were isolated, we could deal with it. It is not isolated, and what it does is to filter into the subculture of crime, of early pregnancy. All of the social ills of the society stem from, in significant part, from that.
You're a Minister of Education. And let me tell you what are the things that I think are wrong then, and if it is still there, it is country word, wronger. Right? When you say to a child, tell me which school you'd want to go after you take this exam, you have 1, 2, 3 choices. Campion, KC, JC, and you don't come in percentage of any of those school acceptance. And them send you to school number 10 downtown. And that teacher get 50% of all who could not qualify to go to any uptown school. So they come down to them. What do you expect to happen?
What I expect to be done, I expect that what will happen is just what is happening now, where that school has less and less good outcomes. What must be done is immediately you take steps to enable that school to cope with who they have. First of all, you may well not be able to keep them just for 5 years. Yes, you may have to give them an extra year. My view is if they come at grade 7, this is high school now, stop dead right now and make sure that if they can't read and write, if they don't have proper social attitudes towards education, yes, stop it right there. Stop right now. Stop teach Spanish and geography and information technology. Deal with those fundamental things.
So we should have schools then, probably, who only collect those students.
You could, all schools should be able to cope with it. Those that are most populated by that need special attention. You can't give them the same money and the same attention as the better off schools. It won't the same effect. If you have a child that is malnourished, you can't give the child that is fat more and the malnourished child less. Going to make it worse. Mr. Charles, what a intractable problem. That is where we face in Jamaica. These are not things not beyond us. We have the money, we have the talent. If only we would have the united will. And on that note, sir, I thank you so much for today. On the Public Eye, look forward to the colleaguery and friendship that we will seek to offer next Wednesday on the Public Eye, on the Bridge 99 FM.
Thank you very much.